Anger and sadness tonight from two families who want police and prosecutors to give them a straight answer.
Officers in Northglenn paralyzed a woman and killed her boyfriend while investigating a possible stolen vehicle. This happened way back in December. And prosecutors say they are still investigating if the shooting was justified.
Well, tonight, Contact 7 investigative reporter Ryan Luby is here with a woman who says the original story from the police just doesn't add up.
It's like a dream. It's a little fuzzy, but I remember.
In many ways, every day is like a dream anymore for Serena Manella, a bad dream.
Some days I wake up and I don't remember what happened. And then it all floods.
The flood, a tidal wave of emotions that bring her back to December 13th, when her life changed forever.
Neighbors have confirmed with us that there were shots fired.
Serena and her longtime boyfriend, Jeremy Patchek, hung out with a friend that Wednesday. Early that morning, they had an encounter with Northglenn Police, she says will forever haunt her.
And they started shooting. The last thing I remember is saying, no, he was dead instantly. He was more than just my boyfriend. He was my best friend.
Neighbors said they heard 5 or 6 shots, but there are 2 accounts of what led to the shooting. Officers said Jeremy and Serena were in a possible stolen vehicle in their friend's driveway and tried to back into them, so they opened fire. But Serena, who says the vehicle belonged to a friend of a friend, does not remember it that way at all.
We're in the driveway parked.
And it was in park.
Yeah, it wasn't even on.
And now the girl who doctors thought would also die is paralyzed from the neck down, but talking.
It's sad. The police are supposed to protect us. And that's not protection.
What we have seen, I think, is revealing.
Attorney Burke Baumgartner points to what we all saw on Denver 7 that day, the possibly stolen vehicle still parked at the end of a driveway with a police vehicle right up on its bumper. Then the shots fired through the vehicle's windows where Serena was the passenger and Jeremy was behind the wheel.
How is it possible that this car was being driven aggressively towards officers?
But that question remains unanswered. The Adams County District Attorney says he is still investigating the case. And because of that, Northglenn Police have not said anything new about it and will not release records about it.
I cannot imagine a justification for shooting a passenger in a car that has been immobilized 2 or 3 times in the back.
But Contact 7 did get a copy of the department's use of force policy for situations like these, which says, in part, shots fired at or from a moving vehicle are rarely effective. Officers should move out of the path of an approaching vehicle. An officer should only discharge a firearm at a moving vehicle or its occupants when the officer reasonably believes there are no other reasonable means to avert the threat of the vehicle or if deadly force other than the vehicle is directed at the officer or others. We also dug into Jeremy's background and did find he had a bit of a history with police, including a handful of convictions for having a controlled substance.
I haven't been out here since the day it happened.
But nonetheless, there was no weapon on Jeremy or Serena at the time of the shooting, Jeremy's siblings say they learned. But that's all they've learned. In fact, nothing's changed since we first spoke with them months ago.
Is it hard to stand here?
A little bit.
What's running through your mind right now?
Just, what was my brother's last thoughts?
Was he scared? Did he have time to react?
Serena's family is still equally frustrated as well, saying Northglenn Police left them in the dark from the get-go, not even telling them where their daughter was being treated.
I had to hunt my daughter down laying in a hospital bed on her deathbed to find out what kind of condition she's in.
They all wanted answers then, and they all want answers now.
You know, I've always been really pro-police. I've always been very supportive of our law enforcement. But what's scary is this happened to our children. Her child's dead and mine's paralyzed for life.
They want justice.
I mean, he didn't deserve this.
And they want closure for a young woman who quite literally is still suffering a broken heart.
No matter what anybody thinks or says, he was a really good person.
Ryan Luby, Contact 7 investigates.
And the district attorney says he's not sure when the investigation into the shooting will wrap up.